resources at my disposal. All right? All right, next, I have way too much stuff on my laptop. I'm going to make a VM. File, new virtual machine. Okay. Hardware is going to be 14X, that's fine. I'll install the operating system later. It is going to be Linux. It's going to be Ubuntu. CIS 471, homework 5. Oh boy, 1 processor, 2 cores. That's fine. And let's go ahead and give it 2 gigs, 2048. That should be fine. It's all going to be command line. It's not going to be running any GUI. We're going to make sure of that, okay? So it should be pretty thin. We're going to put it on the NAT network. It's going to use LSI, SCSI. We're going to create a new virtual disk. Yeah, we'll just make it 20 gigs. We'll split it into multiple files. It'll be dynamic. It'll be great. Okay? There's my VMDK file name. That's perfectly fine. And it's going to be the NAT network. And that looks good. Finish. That creates our shell. So there's our shell. You see how we're on the NAT network. All right. Now I can go ahead and go to the settings. Go to my CD. Let's point to that ISO we just downloaded. So it's in my downloads folder. There it is, right there. All 600 meg of it. Open. Now I'm ready to start this bad boy up. All right? Let's do this. Okay? And now you're just going to go through the standard menu-driven install. Okay? A lot of it is just going to be default. I speak English. It's like I did last time I checked. And we're just going to install Ubuntu Server. All right? No virtualization, no nothing crazy. Yeah, English again, United States. You can try to have your keyboard layout detected. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm doing it on a laptop. English US, English US. It's going to detect all my hardware. And go through the install. Right, you want to go back and double check, make sure you're doing everything right. This is mostly in the lab. Okay, create a VM. Right. Alright, and just go ahead and install it. Once you're done installing it, again, using defaults, you're going to do a sudo apt update because Ubuntu uses the same package manager as Kali. It uses Aptitude. And we'll have to double check on the username and password, but just kind of keep it student. Goes. It should grab an IP address from the DHCP server in VMware. There. What are you going to make the host name? Doesn't matter. Ubuntu's fine. You can hit the tab key to get you around the menu. New user, student. Lowercase. Password, student. Repeat the password. You entered a weak password. You suck. Yeah, I know I do. All right. Use weak password. Yes. Encrypt your home directory. Yeah, no. Based on your present physical location, your time zone is America, Los Angeles. Is that correct? Yes, it is. And hopefully it will not take very long to install this server. So we get through this tonight, we'll come back. Maybe we get to the FTP portion, maybe we don't. So, we don't need an LV, I'm just going to use the entire disk. There's our disk. Take fun. So yeah. Write changes, yes, write changes. And it'll go into package install. There it goes. Okay? So hopefully it will not take too terribly long to install this. They'll ask you when you after it installs the base system and installs app, they'll ask you what packages you want. Okay? Not a whole lot you really have to do. Okay? We're going to install Apache Tomcat, so don't make this a LAMP server. Basically, it's going to be a file server, and that's it. You guys are lucky because I'm stepping through this. My Tuesday, Thursday class, I said, have Apache installed by Thursday. Yeah. No, I didn't. I'm joking. I get to rip all this stuff out and do it all again tomorrow. You guys got any questions so far? Clear as mud, right?
Okay.
What now?
Why didn't you install Ubuntu when you were setting up the VM, but you installed it like when you were doing the No, never mind. Let me ask that a different way. Okay, I'll get back to you.
No problem. Well, what are you confused on?
When you were setting up the VM,
Yes,
and you said you were going to install the OS later.
that's correct. Now I'm installing the OS.
Okay, so this is
This is the operating system
whole,
install.
Okay. So you wanted us to go through this entire okay, never mind.
Okay, for a couple different reasons.
Yeah.
Have you ever installed a Linux server before? There you go. Okay. Checkbox. Mark that off the bucket list. All right. So it's going to configure apt. This goes so much faster if you're wired in. Thank goodness. One of the things we need to steal this room. You like this room better? I do too. We need to steal this room. All right. No automatic updates. Install security updates automatically. No updates, folks. Okay, you install updates. Guess what? Your stuff's not going to work. No automatic updates. All right, now we have to choose what we're going to install. Okay? Doesn't need to be LAMP, doesn't need to be mail, doesn't need to be Postgre. Go ahead and set up your OpenSSH. That's about the only one you really need to check. Go ahead and set up Samba too. So we get to some stuff. We will we'll work on Samba later on. We don't need mail. We don't need an SQL database or anything like that. Just those. And you need this standard system utility. Okay. Tab. Continue. So Samba, open SSH, and standard system utility. That's it. And this should go pretty quick because there's not much to Samba, there's not much to SSH. Welcome to the wonderful world of IT. You get to sit around and wait a lot. A lot of hurry up and wait.
You get paid, right?
Huh?
You get paid for the waiting?
Absolutely, you get paid for the waiting. You should get paid for the waiting. I always bill for the waiting. I've only had like a handful of clients. Usually they're the really cheap clients that I don't go back and do work for a second time. Well, you came in here, you typed a couple of things, and you sat around for an hour, and I don't think I should pay you for more than about 15 minutes worth of work. I'm like, no, I had to make sure everything went through and worked fine and tested at the end, right? He's like, well, yeah, I was still on prem, I was still doing my job, was I not? Yeah. He was a cheap so-and-so, he didn't want to pay me. You'll find that. You'll get that 5% out there. Just give up and find another client if you're doing contract work. Let them work somebody else over. Oh, looky there. Come on now. Grub bootloader. Alright, install Grub bootloader on your hard disk. Yes. Grub is basically your master boot record that's installed. Set up users, passwords, yada yada yada. Alright. We at least want to get to a stopping point. Especially that we have all the software downloaded now. Installation is complete, so it's time to boot into your new system. Make sure to remove installation. Alright, so what we're going to do here now, we're going to go back to VMware. And we're going to go back to the settings. There we go. And where we had that CD-DVD, we're going to unclick connect the power on, so it doesn't see that ISO image anymore. And we're going to click OK. And now we're going to go back into the VM and click continue. It'll reboot. If we don't do that, we run the risk of it going back to do the install all over again. There we go. There's our Ubuntu server. And it's booting up. Yay. Okay, so I only have a few more minutes here. Let's try to get through installing SSH. All right. So we've already installed OpenSSH Server. Okay? So we can do a test on this. We need to go in and make sure that our user is able to SSH into the server. So we need to find the IP address of the server and then use a client to try to gain a terminal. All right, so there's our login. Let's just make sure we log in. Student. Hey, there we go. Perfect. Okay? So now, let's just do an if config. Our IP address is 225.134. Everybody see that, right? Now, you can pull up PuTTY, or I am a personal fan of TerraTerm. Pick your poison. Some people like Coke, some people like Pepsi. Same difference. Some people drink ginger ale. Whatever makes you happy. All right, so here I'm going to go ahead and put in, it's 225. 225. 225.134. SSH. Right? Yeah. Right. And okay. And that's not good. Everything froze. Definitely not good. No, it's not. It's not. There we go. Just took a second. So you should get the security. That's just showing your key. Click continue. And then up here, you should be able to do student. Bang. Now you're terminaled in. Okay? You need to be able to do this to get the files into their system. So that was just a simple SSH client, right? I'm going to exit out of that. Same concept with WinSCP, except WinSCP will allow you to FTP as well. Now, there's a couple things you need to check in order to make sure that you can FTP. All right? So from a system administration standpoint, all right, SSH is set up under Etsy. So if we go to Etsy, SSH, and LS that, here's all your SSH keys. All right, your SSH config is for your client. So this would be what you would set up if you were SSH to another server. SSHD is your daemon. That's your service that is running the SSH server. So we're going to look at that configuration file. All right, so if you like Vim, you're a VI guy like me, or a Nano, whatever editor of your choice, all right, go in and use it. Like I said, I'm a VI person, so I would do sudo vi ssh underscore sshd, excuse me, underscore config. And it's going to ask for my password. There we go. And now this is the setup of SSH. What I'm going to look for to make sure that I can FTP, or in this case SFTP, to this box is the SFTP config, which should be at the bottom of the file. All right, so I'm just going to use the down arrow. So it's under subsystem. You see where SFTP user lib OpenSSH SFTP server. So that is going to look at the users that are allowed for SFTP. All right. So if I go user lib OpenSSH SFTP server, it should work. To get out of VI : Q exclamation point. Then we'll go to user lib OpenSSH. ls that. There's my SFTP server config file. Alright. So it should be ready to go. That's actually not a config file, that's a executable, I believe. How do I know it's an executable? Well, if I VI that, I have all kinds of gibberish. Alright, that's an executable. Alright, qbang, get out of it. So let's go ahead, we have like just a couple of minutes left. If we don't get this, I will make a note and show you how to set up the SSH portion, or the SFTP portion. So I'm going to launch WinSCP. No, not today. Here we go. Host, I'm going to put the IP address, 192.168.225.134. Username student. Password student. And hopefully, alright, that's my key for this one. Click yes, and I'm in the system. So SFTP, the daemon for SFTP is working. How do I know that it is working? Well, let's just take a test file. So I have a 1 kilobit host file here, right, on my documents. So if I just so I'm in home student. If I just click and drag that, there it is. If I go to my downloads folder and I look for that Java SE file, so there's my downloads folder. Oh, it's not in. There it is. So there's a 171. That's for the one I got. Let's drag that over. So that's like 150 meg. It'll take it a minute or so. It's copied over. I go back to the Linux box, CD, whack, home, whack student, ls that, there they are. That's how I know I got them onto the server. So all I did was I launched WinSCP, I attached to the IP address of the Ubuntu box, used student, because that's the username and password I set up. I find that SDK file that I downloaded from Java's website, transferred it over to my home directory. And I can move it around from here and install it where it needs to be. We'll pick up on that next Wednesday. Sound good? Told you guys are going to learn a lot in Linux. Be ready. Okay? You're gonna be pretty good at this, especially with file transfer, SSH, and guess what? I don't ever use a GUI in Linux. Okay, get used to it. Because if you go out in the real world,